PSG is not merely a group of institutions. It is a philosophy. It is the philosophy that charity is the highest virtue. From kindergarten to higher secondary, engineering to arts, from medicine to industry, the PSG legacy has transformed Coimbatore from a quiet little town into the Manchester of southern India. PSG institutions have proved that when private enterprise meets social responsibility, a civilization prospers. I hail the noble qualities of the founders, their vision of a self-reliant India through education and health, which remains as relevant today as it was in 1926. As I accept this honor, my mind inevitably travels back to February 1998. The cereal blasts were not just an attack on human lives. They were an attempt to shatter the social fabric and the economic backbone of this vibrant city. Restoring order was our primary mandate, but the challenge was deeper than just law enforcement. It was about restoring trust. I remember the silence that gripped this wonderful textile city and the fear that shadowed our schools, our colleges, our institutions, our hospitals, our streets, our cinema theaters, our jewelry industries, and our markets. However, the resilience of the people of Coimbatore, supported by the stabilizing presence of institutions like PSG, allowed us to bring the city back from the brink. We didn't just restore order, we restored the rhythm of the city that refuses to be defeated. My journey in the Indian Police Service has taught me that internal security is the bedrock upon which the edifice of a nation's progress is built. As an IPS officer in India is more than a law enforcer, they are a guardian of the Constitution of India. In a nation as diverse as ours, the maintenance of internal security is a complex tapestry of intelligence, empathy, and firm action. Without peace, there can be no investment. Without order, there can be no education. And without security, the dreams of our youth cannot take flight. The uniform represents the state's resolve to protect the weak and ensure that the rule of law remains supreme. Our role is to create a safe ecosystem where charities like PSG can flourish and where every citizen can pursue their aspirations without fear. I must mention two bold steps that I took to ensure normalcy in Coimbatore. The first one, I assumed charge as police commissioner after the serial blast. I was the 8th police commissioner in a short period of 2 years, marred by frequent communal disharmony and violence. The day I assumed charge, one English newspaper commented, I quote, "We have to wait and see how long the new police commissioner is going to last," unquote. That was the kind of pessimism that had engulfed the entire city. When the Home Secretary of the day, a very reputed and a very efficient IAS officer, called me on phone and told me that, "Radhakrishnan, you have to immediately go and take charge as the Commissioner of Police, Coimbatore." I was a teacher at the time and I knew what went wrong in this city. So I thanked him for choosing me as the police leader during the most difficult phase of the city and the state. Nevertheless, I had the boldness, even I would say it was audacity, to ask him that I would assume charge provided I was given a free hand to do my police work without interference from any quarters, especially from the political functionaries. It was an audacious demand from a middle-level officer to the highest authority in the land. He was surprised initially. Then what went in Secretariat Chennai, I didn't know. The same evening, I got a call and I was given the assurance that none would interfere in my work. With that mandate, I came here. I must tell you that the political authority of the state kept up that promise till I left the city more than 3.5 years later. I must mention that the Honorable Chief Minister came to inaugurate the new building for the Commissioner's office in January 2001, and he narrated this story of my unusual demand in the open public function to the applause of everybody sitting there, including the Dr. GB who came on the stage just before. It is pertinent to mention that when I was addressing a high-level assembly of international authorities at the United Nations in 2008, a higher functionary from the United Kingdom wondered how I could have taken so many bold steps in a democratic country run by political parties. Because our democracy is modeled after the United Kingdom, she knows what is the problem here. My answer to her was that the assurance of non-interference given and ensured by the highest political authority of the state was the sole reason. This is how I insulated my police machinery from any kind of pressure that was relentlessly mounted upon us every day. We firmly enforce the law of the land to bring to book all offenders responsible for the devastation of the city, irrespective of religion or caste. Our teams went all over the country to arrest the accused. When I mention all over the country, literally all over the country, to Kerala, to Karnataka, to Andhra Pradesh, to Maharashtra, to Delhi, to UP, to Bihar, to bring back all the people and lodge in the central prison to Coimbatore. We refuse to succumb to any kind of threat, including fatwa, that is death sentence, awarded to me from the central prison of Coimbatore. To highlight my second decision, I must throw some light on the genesis of the communal divide in the city. Competing economic interests in the vegetable market at Coimbatore took communal color that led to frequent quarrels between the Hindu and Muslim youths in the early 80s, to be precise 1980. Communalization of politics took very serious proportions in Tamil Nadu. Initially, verbal attacks took place between the two warring groups. Subsequently, physical attacks became a routine feature in Coimbatore. The first communal murder took place in the year 1989. Later, many retaliatory murders and consequent violence literally paralyzed the city very often. Murder of a Hindu police constable in November 1997 by Alluma extremists led to a totally unexpected event called police strike, causing a massive security vacuum in Coimbatore city. Policemen cited that we don't have security to perform duties in Coimbatore, and why should we? Policemen were sent from all over Tamil Nadu. Everybody joined the strike, and the police commissioner at the time didn't have anybody to depend on except his guns. The result, 25 people lost their lives in one single day, and several stabbings. There's a sad incident, and out of 25 people lost, 18 of them happened to be Muslims. Muslims lost their trust on the police on the day. Army and paramilitary forces were called in for the first time to control a law and order situation in Tamil Nadu, that is in Coimbatore. The police commissioner was shifted. In the meantime, by-elections to the Indian Parliament were ordered because of some political developments in New Delhi, and police were busy with electioneering. Retaliatory efforts by Alluma were going on surreptitiously because the communal history of Coimbatore has been one of retaliation. If you talk, I will talk. If you hit, I will hit. If you kill, I will kill. Now, 25 people have been killed. Now, retaliation was in the offing. And 2 days prior to the polling date, that is on 14th February 1998, Mr. L.K. Advani, then National President BJP, was to come and address a rally here. And that day, Alluma engineered the devastating blast leading to the death of 57 people, mostly Hindus, on one single day. 8 more people died subsequently the next 2 days. Once again, army was called. Once again, paramilitary forces were called to control the situation. The police commissioner was shifted. Again, a massive retaliatory violence was in the air. Everybody anticipated. Fear gripped the city. And with these two major incidents, the majority Hindus also lost their trust in the police. And for your knowledge, I must tell, these serial blasts in Coimbatore decided as to who would rule India in 1998 from Delhi. That's the kind of impact this blast had on the political system of the country. In this background, I took charge. My immediate objective was to restore normalcy and also to have a police force that would not ditch the police commissioner in future if something happened like killing of a police constable in 1997. That was my uppermost priority. The establishing a central paramilitary force in Coimbatore was the only option available to me at the time that will not put any financial strain also on the state government. So I took an extraordinary step of attempting to shift the Government of India's Rapid Action Force battalion from Thiruvananthapuram to Coimbatore, one state capital to another state's district headquarters, which was nearly impossible, but I did make an attempt. This battalion is 1,000 strong, is meant for 3 states of Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka to handle any communal violence. I learned through a Malayali officer commanding the battalion that the Kerala government is not willing to provide 50 acres of land for the battalion to survive, which was functioning from temporary shelters. I decided to capitalize on this situation. With the groundswell of goodwill that we had already generated in Coimbatore in the initial 6 months, I approached the Coimbatore Municipal Corporation to donate 52 acres of land at Pothanur free of cost to establish this battalion. They readily agreed. Here I must mention the pioneering efforts of one son of the city, the then mayor of Coimbatore, Sri Gopalakrishnan, who took the initiative to have a meeting of the Coimbatore Corporation and passed a resolution donating 52 acres of land to us. The Tamil Nadu government readily agreed. Then I initiated the proposal to the Government of India by arguing that Coimbatore is best suited to have this battalion because it is located in the dry junction of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala and not Thiruvananthapuram, which is in a corner. When my proposal went to Delhi, the Home Minister, Sri L.K. Advani, who was targeted at Coimbatore only a few months earlier, rejected my proposal. Whatever may be the reason, I was upset, but I didn't lose hopes. I waited for better times. You believe it or not, the better time did arrive in 13 months. There was a change of political equations in India, in Tamil Nadu. I seized upon this situation and again I renewed the proposal. Now it materialized. My objective stood fulfilled. This battalion is now located in Coimbatore since 2000. This battalion has been ensuring peace in the city during the last 25 years and it will support the Commissioner of Police Chennai, the DGP Tamil Nadu forever in the years to come. Whenever there's a trouble, the police chiefs can fall back upon this battalion. Sir Robert Peel, the then Prime Minister of England, who founded the police system in England and also in India, famously said, I quote, "The test of police efficiency is the absence of crime and disorder and not the visible evidence of police action in dealing with it," unquote. Coimbatore police have lived up to his expectations. There's a proverb, I quote, "The proof of the pudding is in the eating," unquote. In our case, this proverb was tested successfully. I'm happy to state, as the compeer said, the first murder took place in 89, the last murder took place in 1998. Between these 2 years, there were 103 communal murders in Coimbatore and 1,080 violent incidents. And from 98 till this moment, that is 28 years have gone, and not even a single communal incident, murder has happened in Coimbatore. That is our success story. The entire credit goes to the whole Tamil Nadu Police Department.